Hey guys, Paulie from Running Injury Free Revolution, and we're here at the Boston Marathon. We're just right on the halfway mark. The elite guys have just come through, but it's an awesome day. It's about 8 degrees and it feels like about 0 degrees. It's getting windy and getting cold. But guys, I just want to quickly run you through with our Running Injury Free. What we're going to do is look at our technique strategies, but we also want to look at our length strategies as well, because the two paired together are how you're going to get your best results, your speed, as well as stay injury free, stay on course as well. So what I want to do today is just go through and take you through a series, and we want to talk about your rules, because we always talk about SSTM culture at Running Injury Free, and it's basically your injury prevention culture, your running culture, and you want to have basically those rules very clear in your head. SSTM stands for the rules of how you're going to link into your muscles. So we'll go through them piece by piece, but I just wanted to introduce you quickly today. So basically, SSTM stands for your 4 rules of muscle: squeeze, stretch, trigger, and move. Okay? Just really briefly, rule number 1, squeeze a muscle, you contract it, you'll get a better relaxation. So you can use that, combine that with your stretching. Stretching, self-explanatory. We'll go through that in a bit more detail as well. Trigger is that if you apply pressure to a tight knot in a muscle, it'll start to back off. And you've got to remember your warnings. Don't push on circulation. Anything puffy, swollen, warm, red, inflamed, don't touch as well. Your 4th rule, squeeze, stretch, trigger, move, is that movement will lengthen your body. And we always get our elite runners to do full body movement patterns before any race. There's no reason why just normal runners like you and I can't start to use that as well, okay? So they're your 4 rules: squeeze, stretch, trigger, move. That's your injury prevention culture, your running injury free culture. You want to start to understand that, and then when you understand that, you can start to put techniques into those rules and build a toolkit that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so we'll go through them piece by piece. Here at Wellesley Hills at the Boston Marathon, we're just taking through a little series today. We're talking about your rules of how you're going to link in, basically your SSTM culture, your running culture. You want to start to link in technique with how to release the body to stay injury free and stay long. So we're talking about SSTM: squeeze, stretch, trigger, move. They're your 4 rules. You want to get them really, really clear in your head. And your first rule is squeeze, and basically that's if you contract a muscle, you'll get a better relaxation. So we know research-wise that we hold a contraction for about 5 to 8 seconds, and you can link that in throughout your whole body. So really simple to do your upper body stuff: squeeze your shoulders back, relax it off. Obviously with running, we're going to use our lower body a lot, and I always think about your hamstring type of stuff. So you think about if you're running like lying on your back with your leg up on, say, another guy's shoulder, or just with the little stretch band, you get basically pushing down. So you're actually pushing into that resistance, squeezing that hamstring, hold it for about 5 to 8 seconds, then relax, and then you can get a better stretch. So squeeze is your first rule, guys. Squeeze, stretch, trigger, move. Start getting them really, really clear in your head, because that's your running injury free culture. That's how you're going to stay on track, and it's how you're going to get that link so you can optimize your body. You can start to initiate movement from higher in the body and change your lever arms, be more biomechanically sound as well. Guys, Paulie from Running Injury Free Revolution, and we're here at the finishing line of the Boston Marathon. We're having the best time. It's absolutely freezing, guys, but it's everyone's out. It's Boston strong. Just wanted to go through your rules. We're talking about your running injury free culture, your SSTM, and basically we talk about squeeze, stretch, trigger, and move. You want to have them really clear. We talked about squeeze before, and I just wanted to quickly talk about stretch, and basically pretty self-explanatory, but we've got to, as a running culture, start to think about our stretching. There's 2 types. We will look at our dynamic stretches pre-race or pre-run, and that's when you basically take your muscles through range, but don't actually sit on that stretch, not a static stretch. Your second type of stretch is your static type of stretching. You want to do those post-race or post-run or in between your runs, and basically you want to sit on those for at least 20 seconds. You can go longer, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, even up to a minute at times. But look at systematic stretching, all your lower limb stuff. Always look at your upper body stuff as well. We're always very aware that sometimes we will actually go through and release all the upper body stuff on our athletes, and then they'll get their personal records, their PBs, okay? So start to think of that as well. We're here at the Boston Marathon. We're at the 26-mile mark. You can see it just over there. But we're going through your rules, your running injury-free culture, your SSTM culture. And we talked about squeeze, stretch. We want to go through trigger and move as well. So just talking about trigger, and basically that's your third rule of your muscles as a runner to understand, in that if you start to apply pressure to tight knots in muscles, they will start to release off just a little bit. So trigger pointing can be really useful. You can use it acupressure, just like sit on a spot, but you can also use your rollers, your different things like that. Rules with trigger pointing: you want to start to understand this map in your body, and you basically want to start to understand that the pattern of that map. So they're all through your chest, your back, your legs, everywhere. If you start to understand that map, then you can really find your way through. Rules with trigger pointing: basically, number one, don't push on circulation, so just do the points that are shown to you. Anything pulses, leave it alone. And also, if anything's ever puffy, swollen, warm, red, inflamed, just don't touch it. That's a rare chance of a DVT, like a blood clot. They're usually in a calf, but they can be other areas of your body as well. So just keep that in your head. You want to be safe at all times, guys. So start to think of that. Squeeze, stretch, trigger, and move. Trigger is very useful. If you ever get a niggle, you can start to really knock it on the head. So you want to know how to use that as a runner. Here, just at the last turn of the Boston Marathon, we've got Boylston and Hereford Streets. Basically, the finishing line is just a couple of 100 metres up around the corner. But guys, we just want to finish our little series where we're talking about your running injury-free culture, your SSTM culture, and we talked about squeeze, stretch, trigger, and move. We went through squeeze, stretch, trigger. Movement is equally important, guys, and basically a lot of runners don't often use movement pre or post race, and it's very effective. Basically, the secret to the body is that the muscles will actually lengthen with movement, and we use that with a lot of different things, with dance, with running, with everything. But you can actually use it to lengthen your body pre-race. So sometimes you can do your curl downs, so you could just do little curl downs and extensions through, just to actually get that extension happening, so that you can be longer, initiate movement from higher in the body, change your lever arms to go faster during your race. But we always love people to do full body movement patterns so that they actually get themselves very long and straight. And you can do that. There's a few videos on RIF REV on how you can actually do that. You should check them out. So start to think of being able to use your movement at an elite level so that you can do it pre-race, and you can also do it as recovery post-race as well. So guys, there's your rules: squeeze, stretch, trigger, and move. SSTM culture, it's your running culture, your injury-free culture. So start thinking about those rules, and then what you want to do over your life is start to put techniques into those rules. So you start to build a toolkit that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, so that if you do get a niggle in the knee, you just knock it off. If you're starting to tackle, you want to go faster, you can start to actually tackle your body from a structural perspective as well. So guys, we are at the Boston Marathon. We have had a great time. The crowds are like 3-4 deep. And the cowbells are going, and we've had so much fun. Guys, I'm Paul from Running Injury Free Revolution. You can check us out at RIFREV.com.